Okay, so a reminder where we are. I have three tabs up here. I have a blank document, I have my hand, and I have brick. And I have also installed a graffiti font, and I've installed a brush that looks like paint splatters, and it's called like HQ brush or something. Okay, so this is where I'm at. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to make sure I'm in my move tool, and I'm going to take this brick, click on it, go up into this blank, then bring it down, and there it is. Okay. So remember, I make sure that I'm in my move tool for that. And now I'm just going to make this big, and I'm going to make it cover the whole area. Okay, I'm just going to double click that I've done it. And I did such a high resolution brick that you can see everything. So I like the way that looks. So I'm going to say I'm going to fit this on screen. Okay, so there it is. Now I'm going to go into my hand. And before I bring in the hand, I want to select everything. So I'm going to just click on this remove background. This is going to be really quick, and it's going to turn this into a vector image. Yeah. And the reason I like doing this versus the quick selection tool is that I have this little area underneath the finger. And so I really want that to be cut out. And so it did a really nice job of cutting this out. I'm not going to bring that in yet. Now I'm going to go to this layer, okay? Oh, which for some reason did not stay. So I'm going to make sure I've got that. Awesome. And then I'm going to click on this up here on the option thing. I'm going to click on this check mark. Okay, so now it's there. Okay, so I want the letter graffiti. So I'm going to click on my text tool over here in my tools. And I'm just going to click once here. And this comes up with the word lorem ipsum, which is just Latin text. And so here I'm going to spell the word graffiti. Make sure you spell your words correctly, because to spend all this time and effort and then not have it correct is weird. So what I'm going to do here is that I want to make this bigger. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this. And then I'm going to come here where I have my my font size, and I kind of, here's the font size, and I'm going to make it big like that. I'm just kind of holding it down and moving it. So then I'm going to move it and put it here at the top. Okay, do I like the way that looks? Yes, I do. And then I'm going to go into my layers. So I want to show you a couple things that I've done here. I have the layer window up. If your window's not here, go up here and make sure that you've clicked on layers, okay? And so here is my text layer, okay? So I'm just going to rename things. This is my text layer, okay? This is my brick layer, brick background, okay? And now I'm going to create a new layer. In my new layer, I'm coming down here at the bottom, and I'm going to click on this plus, and I'm going to call this my brush layer. Okay. And I think I'm going to call that brush one. And then I think I'm going to add another one. And this one's going to be called brush two. Okay. So these are layers. We're kind of using layers, and we're going to use modes. Okay. So let me go back to my text layer. So I'm clicking on my text layer. It's highlighted here, and then that also makes it here. I think I want to do some things with this graffiti to make it look kind of cooler. So one thing I could do is I could come into here and look at modes. I could go into here and I could try different things. You know, we've used this before. Some of them just make things disappear, which is not so great. Sometimes when you have paint, you can see the stuff underneath it. So that's kind of cool. I could do this hard light like this, so that you can see the brick underneath. It made it a little opaque. But I could also do an effect. So right then I was changing the mode. Now I'm going to change the style. And the style, I've got text highlighted here. And now I'm going to come down here to this FX button, and I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to go to bevel and emboss. Okay. and I have these cool styles coming up. So when I do this, I want to click on the word, not the box. And so I want to do outer glow. Okay. So you saw there's kind of a white thing around it, but maybe I want to make that a little bit bigger. Maybe I want to make this a little less opaque, like I want to make it kind of bigger. I can just try a lot of experimenting, and that's what I want you to do until it looks exactly the way you like it. I've done this a couple times, so I kind of know what I'm looking for. You're going to just spend a lot of time with it. And so once I like just exactly the way I like the way that looks, I'm going to press OK. Okay. And so now I want to do some graffiti above it. But you know what I want to do? I want to make sure that the text is always obvious. So I'm going to move the brush 1 down, and I'm going to move the brush 2 down. Okay. So the text is always going to be on top, and the brick is always going to be in the bottom. So I'm going to go to brush 1, and I'm in this layer, and then I'm going to come over here to the paintbrush. I'm going to click on this on the paintbrush here. And then I'm going to look up here at my brushes, and I'm going to click on this brush, and I'm going to go down to the bottom because the ones that I just did are these HQ paint brushes. Now, right now, yours might not look like this, and I'll tell you why. It's because you need to click on this, and I like seeing just the brush tip, not the brush stroke, not the brush name, but the brush tip. So make sure you have brush tip done so that you can see what they look like. And I can change the size of it. This is just going to look like a little bit of a splotch that I'm going to do. I can change the size quite a bit. Maybe I only want it to look like this. And so I'm going to do a splotch. So I'm going to do here. And so this is what my splotch looks like. And then I can also move it and move it underneath, which it should kind of look like that. I can also change the size of this. So I'm going to do Control T, and then I'm going to make this smaller. And then there I go. Okay, so now I'm going to go to brush 2, and I'm going to do another brush. I don't want to do the exact same brush, so I'm going to do this one. This was 2027, so now I'm going to do like a drippier brush, maybe this 2370, and I'm going to put it here. And I may want to do a couple things. One is I'm going to go into my Move tool. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to do Control T to make it bigger or smaller. I'm going to maybe make it a little bit bigger. And then I may want to change the swatch. So I can go into this swatch, and I can say, no, you know what? I really want this to look more like that. And I can try and change the color of it. Or let's say I just want to keep it purple. So I want to do that. So I can change the color or not. And the reason it's going behind the graffiti now is because the brush 2 is underneath the text. Okay. So let's say I'm going to go here, and one thing that I want to do is change the mode. I could go up here and see what this looks like a little bit. I could just kind of change this to, that it looks a little drippy. This is going to be kind of linear light. Now I can go to the other brush, and I can change this one. Let's see what this one looks like as linear light. Maybe I can do some other kind of lights on it. I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly what I like, but let's say that's what I'm doing. And so now I've got 2 swatches. I can also go into FX, and I could do, something else. I could do a pattern overlay, which gives me these other things. Here I've got pattern overlays. I could try some different things. That's just turning into a tree. No, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take that out. So anyway, once I have the blotches here, then I can bring in a new layer. And my new layer is going to be over everything. So I'm going to put in a new layer. It's up here, and I'm going to put down here, and I'm going to say that my new layer is hand. Okay. And so I have clicked on hand. I'm going to go up to my kind of my tabs up here, get my hand, and I'm going to take it up to my hand, and then I'm going to bring it down to my hand and let go. Okay. So I think that this, I'm going to go make sure I'm in move. I think this is a little too big because that's too big to do the graffiti. So I'm going to do Control T again so that I can make this smaller. And I'm going to make sure I have my move tool. No, I don't want that one. I want this one. And I'm going to just kind of plop up there. And then I might actually make this smaller again. And use my move tool to come. I want to make sure I'm in my hand tool. And then I want to move my hand, click on this. And then I want to move my hand. I'm going to turn that up. That's weird. Okay, I'm going to bring in my hand. And not really sure what I did with my hand. So I'm going to go back into my hand, bring it back in, and then bring this back down again. Okay. And then if I like the way that looks, I can leave it like that. But I want to make sure that what I do is turn it into, export it as either a JPEG or a PNG. PNG is the easiest way. I'm going to do that and put that in. Now, you do not, so I would put in this one, I'd go Wilkerson K underscore WordArt. Okay. And that would be what I would put in as the assignment. But I wanted to tell you a couple things. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to do graffiti. You could do tiger stripes. You could do the word tiger, the word third grade, the word, you know, programming, you know, whatever it is. And then just make sure that you have text, image, brush, font, all in that.